the agreement reached 4 years ago this week. I think he has to be commended for the effort no matter what happens. There's obviously no guarantee of success in this, and in fact, if you read the newspapers, there's almost guaranteed lack of success. Notwithstanding that, because of the importance of the situation, because of its relevance to our own national interest, the President and Secretary made the decision that they have to go forward on this, and so they should be commended and supported.
I understand the pressures. I believe he's shown patience, and is willing to lead.
The government of Israel is in a very difficult situation, really almost a catch-22. Any government would have to respond to the horrific attacks made upon their civilians. But the stated purpose of the response is to isolate and marginalize Arafat and to stop further terrorist activities. And in both cases, the opposite has occurred. The Israelis have had it within their power for a long time to kill or expel Arafat. They've chosen not to do so, in part because of the division within their cabinet on what would happen if he were killed. And there are many who believe, within our government, within the government of Israel, that the alternative would be worse, that it would be someone who had much less control and authority than Arafat has, indeed someone from Hamas, of the Islamic Jihad, who was not responsive to United States or any other Western nation, and who would pursue this, what I think is endless conflict, could be endless conflict, without regard to any other consideration. So it's a bad choice, but the other choices appear to be worse.
On the 11th of September. And we will continue to work in any way we can in order to make
involvement too. So I think it's quite clear that the American role is central, indispensable, and in the person now of Secretary of State Powell represents the one hope of bringing this together. Now that doesn't mean you exclude the European Union. In fact, Secretary Powell, I think, did the wise thing of meeting with the European leaders before going to the region for the very purpose of trying to build a broad consensus on what needs to be done, and I think that's the right approach.
The only answer anyone could give to that question would be yes.
Just this week, the IRA engaged in another act of disarmament, the second, widely understood to be a significant time and development in moving forward on the peace process in Northern Ireland. The rate of killing is way down. The economic growth is up, commerce is up, the borders are open. It's a different place than it was just a few years ago. And I think the same thing can happen in the Middle East for the same reason. I've been asked often, how were you able to get an agreement in Northern Ireland after 30 years of war, after so many failures? And my answer is that the people of Northern Ireland got sick of war.
Go Pirates!